Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Charakak, Badash. Double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutes to all the sincere elect out there. Alright, coming back at you with another lesson out here. So keep pushing, keep striving, keep fighting. We almost out of this bitch. Light is at the end of the tunnel. There is light at the end of the tunnel. The title of this video is Esau is hastening his end. He's hastening his end because Revelation 12:12 says he knoweth he have but a short time. So he's hastening his end. And that's it's not good for him. It's good for us though, but it ain't good for him. So let him do what he do. You know, going back to that enmity, that will, strong hatred. Right, that's raising its head, it's raising its ugly head, that enmity, that hatred between him that he's had, right? Which the dragon, he represents the dragon, the beast, the system, right? The revived Romans, and the woman, as it talks about in Revelations 12, around 9, the woman represents the seed. So he's now standing up, showing his ancient hatred that he's always had, that perpetual hatred that he's always had. That's also in Genesis 3, the enmity between the seed and the serpent, the serpent seed and the woman's seed. So that's always been there. It's always going to continue to be there. So let him. That's what he's doing right now. We're seeing this. We're hearing all the outlandish comments from Trump, and also his Secretary of Defense, his defense team, right, chanting those as the scriptures say, his mouth was sweeter than butter, softer than oil, but war was in his heart. So and also that dragon, he has horns. He has horns as a sheep, or he appears as a sheep or a lamb, but he speaks as a dragon. But it's all of the Spirit of the Lord. The Most High is rising them up to hasten their own destruction. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning after that followeth. So we're continuing to pour up these praise, these curses, and we're seeing light at the end of the tunnel that gives us a surge of enemy to stay in our lots and continue to push this truth around the world, because it's bringing it down. Vibrations, this truth is bringing down this place. We're seeing the perpetual hatred rise up, and we know that all of the kingdoms that came up had their imminent end. When we look into the book of Daniel's chapters 2 and Daniel's chapters 8, they had their end. The ancient Romans, now we're in the revived Romans, that dragon, right, which goes back to the beast today, right? And then you got the image of the beast that reflects all of the cultures, the ways of life, the religions, the free unclean frogs, the Rome over there in the Vatican City, which are the Roman Catholics. You got the over here in England, the business, the corrupt business in the Bank of England, and then you got his war machine, the Vatican, the Pentagon, his war machine in Arkansas, Washington DC. So this is the results of that dragon. These are the unclean frogs, and they're lifting up, raising up their voices, lifting up their heads, speaking appearing as a lamb, but speaking as a dragon, rising up. So we're looking forward, and we're going to just stand still, as the same what happened with all the diasporas when we had to flee. Yeah, there's many diasporas where we had to flee into all around Europe, all around the Africas, right? We had to flee and hide and just be as pilgrims, and watch, be still, stand still. The Most High will fight. He's fighting for us as we speak. This is all of the Most High's plan. So let them rise, let them speed up their own destruction, let them hasten their own destruction. As I said, that ancient hatred is rising its head. And let me hit one precept while I'm out here doing my little walk and talk. They're raising, and a kingdom, typically a kingdom is around, as our elders have been telling us, and we fact checked it, is a kingdom, an empire is typically around 250 years. And this kingdom, or America, Babylon, was founded around 1776, and when you calculate it from 1776 up until 2026, that is around 250 years. So we know we're at the end. We're seeing the prophecies coming to pass. More reason to stay in our lots. Kingdoms typically, well, I would say, according to history, the Neo-Roman Empire lasted around, was given 70 years, and it went for around 69 years, 67 years to 69 years it reigned for. So it was cut short of the 70 years. So that gives us an idea how the Most High, he's the rulers in the kingdom. He rules in the kingdoms of men, the Father of spirits, and he giveth a kingdom to whosoever he wills. Daniel's chapters 4 and 17. Also, similarly, I'm going to be quoting scriptures for now. It's going to be a quick one. It's been raining off and on, but we're going to do what we do. And also in Daniel's chapters 2, around 19 to 21. Went into a little bit into that yesterday. Most High rules in the kingdom of men, and he gives to whomsoever he wills. So kingdoms come in and kingdoms go out. And as the song goes, the wailing song, the wailing souls sang that song, kingdom rise and kingdom fall, and their backs are against the wall. One of them old school rockers, so-called conscious musics. So we're going and another thing as well that's I've been thinking about is that this is a calling of the population, pursuant to the Georgia Guidestones, and also something that Henry Kissinger said. The Georgia Guidestones was about culling the population, because it's over a population of people, according to the Georgia Guidestones. Let me pull that up. The Georgia Guidestones. Let's pull that up and read a little bit of that. Fact check. What are the Georgia Guidestones? Referring to the Georgia Guidestone states that the world's population should be maintained under, as it says here, this goes into the millions, right? These are one of them long numbers. 500,000, something like that. 500,000, yeah, in perpetual balance with nature, and to guide reproduction wisely. The monuments which was demoralized, as it's saying there, demoralized in 2022, also advised uniting humanity with a new language, right? So they was demoralized. That's well known. That's documented. They were demoralized. But it's about maintaining the population, going up into the 500,000s, with all those zeros at the end there. So yeah, maintaining humanity under in the perpetual balance with nature. Yep. And we're seeing these people are being picked off. And it's not just a war, as my elders have been saying. It's not just a war over there in Babylon right now. It's not just a war against the northern tribe and the southern tribe. It's against their own people. It's an in-house thing taking place. And I was watching this documentary last night. The documentary was going into called something to do with history story, and um, the governor of the governor of Florida, the governor of Florida, um, DeSantos. What was his name? DeSantos, something DeSantos. His main concern is the awoke era, and the things that was taking place, man. They had a real, they're really, this thing it's not no new thing, right? The awoke era, banning books out of the libraries, so-called history books, to mainly concerned, and they're trying to spin it in a way where it's against all kinds of things like pedo and children learning about porn in school. But really, they really want to shut down the history of the so-called awoke era, right? Having a sense of self, a sense of dignity. So, was his name John DeSantos? John DeSantos, I think his name was. Or no, Ron DeSantos. Ron DeSantos was going. This ain't nothing new. So we're gonna hit a couple of precepts. Esau be speeding up, hastening. He be hastening his end, his own end, and we ain't mad at that, right? Over there in Chicago, let me hit a precept, and I'm gonna get into some of these facts. Let me hit one precept that's on my mind right here. Psalms 140, and Lord willing, when I get in the yard, I've been having to get out of the yard. All the next door neighbor, there all kinds of banging and cluttering taking place, some kind of refurbishment. So for the time being, I'm going to be doing videos, even though I don't mind anyway, doing them out of the house. But really have no choice at the moment until all the cluttering stops in the house. But really, I prefer it when the weather's all right. I prefer to be out here anyway, doing what I do, right? Putting this vibration out there in the air. Psalms 140 and 1 says, to the chief musician, a psalm of David, deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man, preserve me from the violent man. That violent man is Esau. As I said, Psalms 55, 22. He speaketh smooth with his lips as butter, but war is in his heart. We're hearing all the speeches taking place now with Pete Hegseth, the former, he was a former military man. He's a Ministry of Defense at the moment, or former Ministry of Defense, but he's been coming out and saying we have a war taking place. We want this war to take place, and it's really they want to get at the people, the true people of the Lord. But right now they're talking about illegal aliens and all of that, asylum seekers, and they focus their attention on what, and it's taking place as we speak. Jacob trouble is not on its way; it's here. I touched a little bit onto that yesterday. So a kingdom lasts typically 250 years, and when we calculate it, 2026 would be around that time. From 1776, it would be around 250 years. So we're around that time now, right? We're not just contemplating and we're not just speaking about it. It started. Jacob trouble is here. So once again, Psalms 140 and 1. Deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, right? Which imagine mischief in their hearts, right? They don't only imagine it. They dream about it. Micah 2 and 1. They dream about it, and when it's morning, they put it in. They put it into practice. They dream about it. They visualize it. The Edomites. That's what they dream about. That's what they visualize. Power and stealing, killing and destroying land, mainly the biggest thieves on the planet. And they push in the media, Jake, You know, Jake wicked. Jake wicked anyway. We know that Jake wicked. But that's what they be pushing. Like it's only Jake be doing his little stupidness. You know what I mean? His little crimes, and a lot of it is what you call it, crabs in a barrel anyway. You know what the thing that takes place in ghettos when people have to resort to survival, that crabs in a barrel spirit, and a lot of it is planned by ease anyway. They're behind it anyway. Once again, the crabs in a barrel spirit is designed for Jake to start attacking each other, which that's all wicked anyway, because they should know better. But that's what they be. That's all they be showing in the media. Obviously, they ain't gonna show what they be doing, right? What happened to what they did to the Native American Indians, the Reubenites and the Gadites, so-called Native American Indians, they named them. What they done with the TB, the tuberculosis blankets, right? That was what you call that was war. What you call it? Poison wars. Poison war. Mustard war. Disease war. Tuberculosis blankets. Well, that's a serious thing to take people out. Slow death and not chicken pox, smallpox, which is another serious thing that takes people out. It's a horrible way to go. So obviously their history, that's why Ron DeSantis over there, the mayor or the governor of California, wants to get rid of all those books in the history books in the library. And a lot of the librarians was giving their testimony of what, when they try and push back, saying they ain't doing, it's not affecting anybody. The libraries are there for people to read, you know, freedom. They're being sacked. One of the the librarians, the women that work in the libraries and the media specialists. There's a lot of in-house fighting going on with the E's. A lot of in-house fighting, right? They got their town halls and people be trying to give their 2 cents, right? And they be getting persecuted for giving their 2 cents, having their 5 minutes of speaking out with in the town halls and all these places were arranged for you to give your 2 cents, and they're finding themselves being persecuted. Very interesting documentary. Mainly Ron DeSantis they was talking about. He's the one that's behind it all, trying to silence the awake. And now we got this Pete Hegseth. They're all the same. The red people, the Edomites. The words smoother than butter, but war is in his heart. They speak his lives. That's another precept. Psalms 58. They speak his life. They are like the poisonous adult. They speak of lies. They're estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born. So I'm going to read that again in the KJ, in the NLT. For the Lord rescue me. O Lord, rescue me from the evil people. Protect me from those who are people. From evil people. Protect me from those who are violent. Right? They're the true YNs. Right? And they try and make wickedness look legitimize wickedness. That's how they're able to get away with it, creating all these loopholes and contracts to bind you under their laws and rules and regulations, and oppress you, right? With all we're subject to payments, all their payments. So these are the real criminals, right? Protect me from those who are violent, those who plot evil in their hearts and stir up trouble all day long, right? They don't sleep. Once again, they don't sleep unless they cause someone to stumble, right? They don't sleep unless they cause someone to stumble. So that goes, once again, that goes back into that hatred, that perpetual hatred between Esau and Jacob. And I'm looking at someone right now and I'm yes, wait there upon the Lord until I rise up to the prey, right? Zephaniah 3 and 8. So that's all we got to do, stay in our lot, once again. But while you're staying in your lot, keep pushing, keep striving, keep fighting. We're almost out of this bitch. That perpetual hatred The ancient hatred is rising its ugly head. They can't hide it. We're seeing what's taking place over in Babylon and over here in the mother of Babylon. They're talking about they want to cull crime. They want to cull the crime, and they're going to use this thing there, the digital ID. And it's not just something that they've just spoke about. They've been speaking it from the longest time, as we know, our elders and our apostles. But it's a step closer to the MOTB. So once again, that's what we got to do, right? To keep this, keep the program, stay in your program. The program is moving, and the E's are hastening. They're hastening their end, and it's all right. Let them do it, right? He that diggeth a pit, he himself shall fall unto it. So that's what we say. Shema Yasha'Allah, Yahweh Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh Akkord. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our power is one, the host of armies. And it's him that mustereth the battle. The warrior of Bashim Shalom. To the next one we act.